does speaking engagements throughout the Philippines. He is the author of the book CEO at 22, which tells of his story starting up his first business, SEO Hacker, at a young age. A serial entrepreneur who has founded 6 companies, Sean is a born-again Christian who believes faith in God is the cornerstone of his success. His expertise in leadership management, team unity, personal growth, sales, digital marketing, startups, and the entrepreneurial lifestyle has drawn the attention of company owners, event organizers, magazines, and television and digital broadcasts here and abroad. He has shared the stage and worked with some of the biggest names in the public speaking industry, namely Francis Kong, Chinky Tan, Jason Law, Randall Tiongson, Anthony Pangilinan, Carlo Ople, Manuel V. Pangilinan, former President Joseph Estrada, and former President Fidel V. Ramos, to name a few. Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Sean C.
Hello! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everybody. Sa mga nakikinig sa Passive Income Show with Carl D, we have a very exciting show for you tonight. Bagay na bagay sa lahat ng negosyante. If you are a businessman, you have to stay tuned for the next 1 hour. Why? We're gonna talk about the most important thing in your business cycle. What is the most important thing in business? Is it closing deals? Is it making presentations? Is it customer service? For me, the most important thing of your business cycle is getting your customer, getting leads, making sure your pipeline is full. Diba? So lahat ng nakikinig dito, if you're a businessman, stay tuned for the next 1 hour. We have a very exciting guest speaker, very appropriate, very experienced in this field. But before that, I want to share... If you are watching right now, please go to the comment box and type where you are watching from. This is Carl D. I'll be your host and I'm from Quezon City. May mga tiga Quezon City ba dyan? Meron bang watching from outside the Philippines, in Visayas and Mindanao? Please go to the comment box and say hi so I can see you and I can welcome you to the show. And you know, this show is about passive income and about strategies and techniques paano ba magka-passive income. And you are free to ask questions to our speaker. Walang right or wrong answer here. Walang judgmental. Any question where it's valid, we're gonna answer them. So without further ado, my next guest is very special to me. He's really my go-to person pagdating sa social media, anything digital, anything related sa hacking the internet. He's my go-to person. And he will be here for the next 1 hour to guide you also on your business. So, take advantage na to ask him the questions about how to get customers. You know, if you are a businessman, you have an online store, you have a retail store, that's always the question. How do you drive people to enter your store? How do you drive people to buy from your store? So, without further ado, let us all give a warm Bounce Back Network Chinoy TV welcome to Mr. Sean C. Hello, Sean. How are you? Welcome to the Bounce Back Show. There you go. Hello, Sean.
Oh, there we go. Hey, sorry, I was muted. Thanks for having me on the show. Good evening, Carl. Good evening, everyone. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Very impressive intro video, Sean. Dun pa lang. Parang I'm very impressed na.
That's my wife's voiceover. So,
oh, wow.
Kaya maganda yung video.
Wow. Hello to you. What is the name of your wife?
Apple.
Apple. Hello, Apple and kids. How many kids do you have?
2 boys, 1 on the way.
One on the way. Congratulations.
1 girl on the way.
Wow, 1 girl on the way.
Blessing.
No? Yeah, truly a blessing. It's a pandemic baby.
Yeah, it is.
Man,
that's right.
Before we go to you sharing with us a little bit about your background, tell the audience, i-hook natin because we're in a sales and marketing topic. What will they expect in the next 1 hour?
In the next 1 hour, you will be able to get it in a simple, concise way, how you can generate leads using digital marketing. So we all know when we wake up, first thing we pick up is not the alarm clock anymore. And the first thing we do is not even go to the CR anymore sometimes, but pick up our smartphone. And when you're on your smartphone, you're connected to the digital world. And when you're there, marketing, I always say marketing is the same. It's being where your target market is. Whether it's traditional, digital, doesn't matter. Kung nasaan yung target mo, you have to be there. That's marketing. And right now, people are connected to the digital world. And how can you put your business in front of these people connected digitally who may be pre-qualified as a lead for you? Yan ang
Wow, Sean.
matututunan.
I'm gonna stop you there kasi that is a load of information. But first, I wanna say hi to sa mga bumate. Bernadette from Camarines Sur. Grabe, all the way to Camarines. Ralph from Tanay Rizal. Di ba si Ralph? Hello, Ralph. And everybody,
Evening.
you know, just type there kung nasaan kayo, who you're watching. And sa mga nanonood ngayon, can you go to the comment box and type, what do you check in your phone whenever you wake up at night? Or the first thing when you wake up in the morning, ano ba chine-check nyo? Viber, FB? Yung iba, I think they check their Bitcoin kung kumusta na.
Nako, volatile ngayon yan.
Volatile. Hello, Marvin Guermo. Marvin Guermo is watching us too. Hello, hello.
Yan, shout out. Billionaire.
Yeah, the billionaire Marvin Guermo. What do you do? Just type in the comment box. What do you do when you wake up in the morning with your phone? Sorry, Sean, you mentioned something about going to where your target market is. So,
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Take it away.
Yeah, so you have to be where your target market is right now. And right now, if people are digital, and we all know that people are actually more and more going digital, especially now that we're supposed to be careful, not going out, not going to social events. So we're mostly at home. And when we're at home, we're mostly connected to the internet. Sabi nga nila for millennials and centennials, yung mga people my age, 40 and below, what's more important than water and food sometimes is having a good internet connection. Can you imagine that? Okay lang
fast
walang
internet.
pagkain.
Okay lang, fast.
Yeah. And that would attest to how powerful the internet now is in our lives. So as a business, tama yung sinabi ni Carl kanina eh. What is most important in a sales cycle is having a good pipeline of leads. I'm a sales guy. I've been doing sales for SEO Hacker, my business, for since I started. So that's almost 11 years now that I'm doing the sales.
Sean,
And
lang, singit.
Yeah.
Tell us that yung mga audience, I'm sure everybody knows you, but kung sakali lang may mga tao na hindi ka kilala, tell us a little bit about your business first.
oh, got it. Yeah. So SEO Hacker is the name of the business. There we go. I'm wearing the t-shirt. And we do end-to-end digital marketing, from building sites, designing it, maybe making it really nice on mobile, all the way to making it rank on Google first page, often on the number one spot. So when people ask me what do you do, I actually tell them I manipulate search results for a living. Because websites I want to put up, we can put up. Websites we want to rank down, we can rank down. That's what we do. Yeah, to simplify it. And we also do social media marketing, email sales automation, mobile app. We can now transform your website into a mobile app. So those kinds of things. That's what we do. We're a 50-man team. We're based in BF Parañaque. That's where our office is, but we haven't operated in the office since March 2020, nung lockdown. So we're all working from home to ensure everyone's safety. So,
Sean, for those who are watching, what are the type of client that you help? What type of businesses? Restaurants, online?
a lot. It's
A
very
lot.
diverse. So we work with Philippine-based companies and even companies abroad. We work with Thailand, Myanmar, US, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. We have a client from Spain right now, and their business is luxury villas, selling luxury villas there.
Wow.
Here in the Philippines, we worked with the generics pharmacy, Mega Sardines, SM, Mega World, we work with Mega World, Lipton, Ford, Land Rover, Toyota, Ben and Jerry's, Tony and Guy. We work with a lot like B2C, B2B, enterprise level, SME, Hanabishi,
Wow.
Puritan's Pride, Fukuda. So it's very diverse, iba-iba talaga.
Uh,
As long as
you
they
know,
want to rank.
Land Rover keeps popping up in my Facebook. Ikaw
That's
yan.
because you can afford.
Are you talking about, keeps popping up the new Defender? All
Yeah,
right. So,
that's nice.
Sean, without further ado, the audience is excited. 5 tips, guys. After this show, you will have 5 takeaway on how to increase your customers. Okay, Sean, number one.
Okay, number one is you have to first demolish the mindset na Facebook page or Instagram page is all you need because that's a
Oh,
fallacy.
okay.
When you want to have a really good digital presence, you want to come out professional, you want to come out like you're official, you have to invest in a website. I call that your home base. Facebook can just remove your Facebook page. I'm sorry to say, but they do have that power, and they did practice that with Australia not so long ago when they did the snap, and suddenly all Facebook pages groups on in Australia kind of went away, went
Mm,
dark, and they were in chaos. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but what's important for you is to have control of your business in the digital world. And for you, that means you have to have your own website, your own domain name, your own hosting, your own property. Also, Facebook doesn't rank really well on Google. If you notice, when you search, for example, flooring solutions.ph is my client. When you search for Epoxy Flooring Philippines, yung Facebook page na lumalabas, iba-iba. Hindi mo masabi kung sino. Pero si Flooring Solutions, laging number one sa Google, and hence they're getting a lot of leads, a lot of inquiries and sales because of that. You just don't know when Google will regurgitate a Facebook result and if it's going to be your Facebook page or not. But here's the thing, people will not really search for your business on Facebook. They will
mm,
search for it in Google because that's how professionals do it. That's how purchasers do it. Google muna eh.
yeah.
And when they're searching in Google, you just know they have an intention. They want to get in touch. They want to buy your product, your service. But people in Facebook, when we open Facebook, it's usually because we have nothing better to do. We're just trying to waste time, killing time, and we're trying to see what's up, see what's up. That's it. But people will go to your website when they want something accomplished in their business or in their life. If you're a B2C, they want to get your service fixed, their aircon, whatever that they would like. And your website will be a more accurate representation of you because you can put your pictures there.
Mhm.
People don't have to scroll down the news feed of your Facebook page. You just show them what you want to show them. And you save them time, and they appreciate that when the website is made well.
Mhm.
So you have to make sure that it's mobile responsive. When I say mobile responsive, it's nice when people load it in the smartphone. It's easy to use. Why? Because your rankings will depend on how well you make your website in the mobile phone.
Mhm.
The rankings in Google don't depend on your desktop results anymore. It depends
Okay.
on your mobile results. So when you have a website designed and developed, make sure that the developer and designer has mobile first in mind.
Wow.
Because we are an SEO company, we always think about these things for all of our clients. After all, what use is a very nice website that you spend on if it's not getting the visitors you need or you want? The
Sean, I'm
second,
gonna hold you there. May
okay,
mga questions. May mga questions galing sa audience. Sean, we don't wanna exclude anybody here. Wala tayo. We're not judging.
of course.
Son, don't judge me. What is SEO?
SEO is no problem. Questions like
Define.
that is really good. Kasi kailangan natin maintindihan lahat eh. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. That's a weakness of mine. SEO means search engine optimization. You optimize for search engine. And since Google owns 63% of the world search market, and I think in the Philippines they own 90 plus percent, maybe 95% of our search market, then optimizing in Google. That's really what it means. Um, and how I explain it is really the art and science of manipulating search results. That's
Wow.
SEO.
So,
Yeah.
sa mga audience natin ngayon, if you have a business and your business is, let's say, doing well, diba? Sabihin natin, it's doing well. I encourage you to hire somebody, a young person, to expand your digital presence. Yeah, Sean, right?
That's
Wag
right.
natin i-ignore na hindi, wala yan, I'm established. No. Find a team, a person to develop your digital presence because people use Facebook and Google. That's why there's the GMG. Diba? Alam niyo yung GMG, right?
Ako ata, hindi ko ata alam.
Google mo, guwapo.
Okay. Yun pala yun. Yeah. Yeah.
I-Google mo, diba? So,
Yeah.
Sean, I get what you're saying, number one. Have a decent website. And when you say a decent website, kailangan ba maraming gumagalaw, animation, videos? Ganun ba yun?
No, actually, how we qualify what a good website is, we track. Medyo scary pakinggan, no? Pero we actually can view a replays of how people use your website. So,
Wow.
tinitingnan namin saan nagtatouch yung fingers ng mga tao, saan sila nagsuscroll, kailan sila nag-fill out ng contact form, kailan hindi. We can actually replay that. We install software to be able to see that. But not because we want to spy on people. It's because we want to improve the conversion rate of the website. Meaning, how many visitors turn to leads? How many leads turn to sales? Or pag e-commerce, how many visitors turn to customers? We're
Wow.
measuring that and we're measuring how to improve that. Minsan, nagsuscroll sila, hindi pa sila umaabot dun sa add to cart button. So, ano yung magiging idea doon? Iangat natin yung add to cart button. Or let's make it follow. That's another option. So insights like that, we use software and data. That's how you make the website look better. You be able to be easier to use. You can't just use hula eh. Hindi pwede manghula lang eh. Puro hypothesis, puro heuristics, unless you're super duper experienced in improving the conversion rates. But otherwise, you use data. We use science talaga to do it.
Sean, paano naman tayong Chinese? We always just use instincts.
Yan ang I'd say it's a strength and a weakness. It used to be a really good strength because when you have that instinct, it's a culmination of all the data in your mind. Eh. You just can't explain it in words. But it's because of your experience, your knowledge, and so that's instinct. But here's the thing. When your success becomes your sense of stability, it becomes a weakness. Kasi iniisip mo, oh, because this worked, it must work all the way to the future. But that's not true right now. Because the ones who are actually investing in their digital marketing are eating up the market. And the ones who relied on instinct, they're losing market share. That's the truth for some of my clients. Nakikita namin. Now, those who are both using their instinct and investing in their digital marketing, they're winning like crazy right now.
Wow.
Because they're getting the searches. Imagine I have a client. They're very old in the market. More than almost 40 years, I think, na in the Philippine market. Dell's Apparels. When you search for corporate uniforms, uniform manufacturer, uniform creator, Philippines, they're ranking first page. Often in the first place. Nung una, walang bilib. Sino magse-search nun, Sean? Sino maghahanap ng uniform supplier sa Google? Madami naghahanap noon, sabi ko sa kanila. There's so much searches. You just don't know because you've been doing things the same way ever since. So sabi ko, why don't we just try it? Let's try it. And when I put you number 1 rank, you will see how many leads you can get and how many closed deals you can get from those leads. And then masasabi mo sa akin finally, Sean, sulit yung SEO or SEO doesn't work. And it worked.
Sean, I'm gonna hold you there muna. You know, guys, we are still in number one. Number one pa lang tayo and it's so much information. We have some comments from Ralph Rivas. Improve the conversion rate. Learning daw niya, takeaway niya. This is filled with so much value bomb. O, di ba? Sean? From Entre Negosyo for Nation Building. Kudos to Carl D and Sean C. And then what Sheen Casas mentioned something about heat map. So we're gonna educate yung mga medyo newbie. What is a heat map?
Heat map is used to track where users look in your website. So for example, right now, we have our screen. Dito natin pinapanood tong video live eh. We have our screen. The heat map will show you red areas where the eyeballs are usually directed. And then the blue areas, those are areas where di masyado pansinin. That's a heat map. Heat map is useful for analyzing a website's hotspots. Dun sa mga habulin sa mata, dun mo ilagay yung mga call to action buttons and call to action copy mo. When I say call to action copy, yung mga buy now because blah blah blah. Yan.
Wow. Sean, I'm just gonna summarize number one. So number one is create a website that is effective, efficient, that's doing its job. Diba? Sean, you mentioned about call to action. I think when you do a website, you identify what is the purpose of this page. Anong gusto mo ma-feel ng audience mo?
That's right.
Minsan, it doesn't go straight to the buying, diba? Minsan, trust mo, create trust.
That's right. Yeah.
Something
100%.
like that. Sean, before we move to number two, how much budget should a company set aside to create a website?
For website creation, I would say this would largely depend, because a company, some would have 1,000 SKUs, right? We recently signed a client on 1,000 SKUs. Sobrang dami. Power tools, screwdrivers, you name it. Ang dami. That would cost more, generally, than a website who's like Flooring Solutions, where they have 30 pages. Homepage, about us, contact us, products, principles, and previous projects. And that's it. That would cost somewhere maybe 75K to 100K.
Okay.
Respectable output. I'd say that's output that I personally can accept. Anything lower than 75K is something I won't risk. Why? Kasi sabihin mo nakatipid ka nga. Pero pag kailangan mo ulitin, kasi hindi ganun kaganda yung quality and how it's built, then you just cost yourself 3 to 6 months worth of time and opportunity. It's like building a skyscraper when you use materials that are subpar kasi gusto mo magtipid. The cement, the steel, the wirings, you don't see that when the building is finished. You think it's done well because of the paint and the finishings. But the earthquake will show you how well built the skyscraper is. And it's the same with SEO. You ask Google one question, how many results? 100, 200 million results. They're all competing for top 10.
Top 10 lang eh. I get my result in top 10. I never go to page 2.
Exactly. So when you have 100, 200 million results, all competing for top 10, and there can only be one top 1, one top 2, hindi pwedeng dalawa yung second placer, tatlo yung first placer. Hindi pwede yun kay Google. So you would want your website to be the best it can possibly be so that you can compete well versus the 100, 200 million results and keep your rankings.
Sean, there's a question from the audience and I'd like to put a little framing in it. So sa lahat ng nanonood dito, I think we all agree. Kahit ako, I agree na sometimes Facebook is good enough. We get business with Facebook. Let's face it. But for those who are parang, you want to expand, you want to level up, this is where Sean C comes in. Diba? Sean, may nagtanong dito, Joven, hindi ba pwede na ang Facebook kahit wala ng website?
That would depend on, I'm not going to say that Facebook is wrong, bad, or it won't create results because it does. And it largely depends on your industry. If you're a restaurant, strictly speaking, I'm not going to offer SEO to you.
I see.
Because no one will really search for like Russian food near Makati. It rarely would someone search that. Very rarely, and it's just not gonna create ROI for that restaurant. So I'm not gonna recommend SEO for that because I'm always recommending what would make really good ROI. We're in for the long haul and the partnership. That's how I operate my business. So Facebook, social media marketing will work for restaurants as long as masipag ka mag-create ng content, masipag ka mag-upload. Because here's the thing with SEO, when we're doing your SEO, all you have to do, sit back, relax, take the leads and close them. That's all you need to do.
Wow.
With social media marketing, what you need to do, create content every single day. Every single day, create content. Yan ang kailangan mong gawin. Kung masipag ka gumawa nun, buong buhay mo, ia-allot mo yung part of your life and hours per day to creating social media content, by all means, do social media. And I've met a lot of social media entrepreneurs who have found success in social media, who have come to me and said, Sean, nakakapagod. Can I just be like you where I get passive leads from search and pre-qualified pa kasi hinahanap na nila yung product ko. And then I just tell to them easy. That's the thing. That's the main difference between Facebook and SEO. Now you can always start with Facebook because it's cheaper, easier to do. Dami mo rin competitors kasi nga cheaper and easier to do. But
Sean,
if you have a website
you
and
know,
SEO, yeah.
It's getting clearer for me. And I'm sure for the audience also, nagagets yun na. Facebook works depending on your product. But if you feel na, you want something to talk to your audience para hindi ka sagot ng sagot sa mga tanong nila ulit ng ulit, then create that website. So use your Facebook maybe to push them to your website para pagdating sa iyo, order na.
That's right.
That's right? Am I getting it? So number one lang tayo, guys. Create that website. A website that works. Not just a walking brochure. Something that is working. No?
Yep. Number 2, can we do number 2?
Number 2 na tayo. Sige.
Actually, we touch base number 2 and number 3 na in my list.
Sige, number 2.
Pero I'm not gonna spoil it. So, number 2. So, number 1, website, your home base. Number 2, build on your SEO. Here's the thing about SEO, search engine optimization. There's no magic trick to it. It's not magic. If you learn SEO on your own and you practice it every single day, you can actually make it work. I started SEO Hacker as a freelancer and I was just a blogger. And then companies started inquiring because I was doing it ethically.
Yeah.
So SEO Hacker may be the only company in the country doing it ethically because there's so many ways to do SEO. So many combinations. There's just so many ways. Even the packages are all different. Even the contracts are different. You can't say na itong company na to, parehas lang sila dun sa isang company. So how we did it is very, very different. Now, you have to do your SEO consistently. It's not magic. There's no real tactic that will work na 180-degree may ikot niya yung SEO and rankings mo. But it's a discipline. Now, if you're a person of discipline, you will find SEO to be very enjoyable. Discipline, consistency. That's something that I really personally enjoy. If you notice, one of my podcast, Leadership Stack, we actually produce 4 episodes per week. Consistently, hindi kami nagbabago. 4 episodes per week kami nagpa-publish. And I enjoy that kind of consistency. That's how I do business and operate. So SEO works really well for me as a business owner. If
Sean,
you can do that.
What do you publish again?
We publish 4 episodes a week on our Spotify.
Okay, Spotify.
Yeah.
4 episodes a week. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. In Leadership Stack, we published 200 plus episodes already.
What do you talk? Do you have guests o ikaw yun
I have guests often. There are days na may ask me anything ako and we publish it there as well.
Wow. So again, they can listen to you, more of your thoughts on Spotify.
Yeah, leadership, entrepreneurship, management. We're actually doing SEO on that. So someday, if you search for Leadership Podcast Philippines, we're going to rank number 1. That's the goal. And that's because I don't like to keep on promoting on social media. I don't like setting aside like an hour to schedule everything on social media every day. So we're just gonna rank for leadership podcasts, leadership ideas, leadership talks, something like that. No, I'm not. We're not yet 100%. I'm on the key. I actually we have our keywords list. I just haven't memorized it. My specialists will do that. But yeah, SEO. That's really how you get people coming in. We call that inbound. Cases you're going out of your way trying to market to them, building that relationship with them. That we call that outbound. You're cold calling, cold texting, cold emailing. You look at the website, hit their contact form. That's outbound. You're the one efforting to reach them, and they really don't know you. They really don't think about you. They really don't think about your product or service. SEO, the beauty is it's inbound. These are people who are looking for your product or service, and all you need to do is get in touch with them.
Okay, guys, I want to emphasize on what Sean said. So, guys, if you are in business right now, if you are selling a product, a service, which we all are, we are all at some point selling something. Ibang-iba pag ikaw yung lumapit sa tao. If they don't need your product, you will be a nuisance hard seller, meaning they don't like you. Diba? But if they are the one who needs your product and you are there to service, they will be very, very happy na nandyan ka. You see the difference, Sean, no, diba? And
Yes.
what you don't want is to keep on hard selling to somebody who is not your market because they will hate you. But
That's right.
If you hack your site, your strategy, and lumalabas lang yung feed nyo sa mga gustong hanapin kayo, then you will be much appreciated. Di ba?
That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
Carl, here's the story. I was a 21-year-old kid when I started, and how I grew the business is through that SEO. We're the first company to rank number 1 for the keyword SEO Philippines.
Yeah.
You guys can search it right now on your computer if you want. SEO Philippines. I think right now we're number 2. But we're the first company ranking for that. Kasi yung una parang aggregator lang eh. So, for the longest time, we've been ranking for that. That's how I get a lot of leads. And I close them. And imagine for 11 years, I'm the only sales guy running the show, really bringing in the income. How can I be the only one? And yet I have 50 people in operations.
Yeah.
Diba? Usually, companies would have 3, 4, maybe 5 salespeople.
Yeah.
But I don't need a lot because the leads I get, they're kind of sure. They're already pre-qualified. I talk with them and I close the deal. And that's it.
I get your
Tip it
point.
ako
Sean.
sa salespeople.
I want to emphasize, you know, guys, if you're running an online store and you keep on repeating the same questions, answering the same questions, it's gonna exhaust you, diba, Sean? So
That's right.
don't be happy, don't be satisfied if you're busy. What you want to do, guys, ito secret to of businessmen. What you want is to automate the whole thing. Para kahit wala kayo, it's answering questions, it's getting orders. That's the goal.
That's right. So the
Sean.
more you automate, the more free time you have. And if you're the type of business person who ang goal mo is to have more time for yourself and family, that would be amazing. Now, if your goal is to just hit like 1 billion pesos before you're 40, ibang klaseng goal yun. Whether you get busier or not doesn't matter. But for me kasi, ang goal ko kaya ako nagnegosyo is to be able to have more time for myself and my family. That's really it.
Yeah. I agree with you, Sean. You know, a little sharing lang sa mga audience. You know, tayo, Sean, you know, we grew up in a Chinese family. In my family, when you're hardworking, you get thumbs up. So the more hard I work, the more my parents applaud me na parang, oh, sipag talaga ni Carl. And then I grew up like that. Every time there's something to do, hard work, I would exchange my time. Sino earliest to come to the office, last to go home. Then eventually I met a mentor na businessman who told me na, Carl, that's not the way to go. The way to go is to automate, to systematize things, to have delegate. Diba? And if you're sitting at home doing nothing, but your business is running, that's the 2 thumbs up.
That's the best.
Yeah,
That's the
diba?
best. Go on a sailing cruise for a month and
But your
don't worry
business-
about your business burning down.
Fantastic. Sean, nasa number 2 pa lang tayo. Number 1, create that website. And number 2, build your SEO. So,
Yes.
Sean, before you go to number 3, so guys, if you are watching here, this strategy is applicable to many types of people. If you're new in the business, this is applicable to you. If you're a traditional company and your next generation, please, I encourage you, apply these strategies and your business will grow and blow up, blow big, go big, di ba? But I want to add lang, Shana, before I pass on to you. If you're an existing business and you want to grow to something digital, have a separate team. That's my advice. I've seen people use the same team to go digital. Hindi sila ganun ka-motivated kasi they're running their existing business and you require them to open new business. Create a separate team to challenge the old team, but on a digital space. Sean, number
That's
3.
healthier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what my clients do is they get us na lang. Kasi we're a 50-man team. We act as partners. Our reports are transparent. So a lot of my clients actually, kami yung team nila.
Na
Yun
digital.
yung nangyayari.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm gonna ask more questions about that next. What's number 3?
Number 3, we touched based on it earlier, social media marketing.
Okay.
Now, why is it a good way to generate leads? Again, if your business is a restaurant, SEO will not work that well for you. And what will work well is social media marketing. And we've had clients selling novel items. When I say novel, medyo bago, yung hindi pa ganun kakilala ng tao. Because people won't search for stuff they're not familiar with. There's no keywords for the latest new item on the market.
Yeah.
And what you do is introduce it in social media. The thing is, you have to create a lot of content, videos, posts, content calendar, and then you have to schedule them and you have to have budgets to run them because you pay every time someone clicks or every time someone fills up a lead form or every time you get 1,000 views on your ad. Hey, that's another comparison. With search, you don't actually pay anything when people click your site or view your site from the search results. So with social media, you have to have a good amount of budget that you're willing to spend on Facebook, Instagram every month. When you don't have that, there's just no way to win. That's how Facebook makes a lot of money. You have to spend. We call that advertising budget. So you have to set that aside. But that's really one way that you can generate leads. Now, do we do that with SEO Hacker? No, we don't. Because our leads are mostly inbound SEO. Why would I still spend on social media marketing? Besides, even if I run ads on social media, not a lot of people is going to contact me because they want SEO. That's because people on social media, they're there to kill time. They're there to see what's new, what's up. Not really because they're looking for something.
So Sean, you're saying social media marketing, you don't cover that.
We do. We
You
actually
do.
have clients under social. We have a real estate client right now. We have someone selling food on Instagram doing really well on social media marketing handled by a SEO Hacker.
Okay. Guys, I just wanna share some insights, some strategy, no? Tayo, minsan tayo, our culture is tipid-tipid, di ba? Na parang, hindi, I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna learn that, I'm gonna learn that, I'm gonna do it myself. But I think the more advanced taipans, instead of saying, I'm gonna learn, I say, I'm gonna hire somebody to do that. Diba? So guys, if you have a business right now and you think na yung product nyo talaga is really something that can be scaled up, I really encourage you to outsource your expansion. So Sean, tell us about how, before that, guys, if you are watching this live, please type naman what business you are in para Sean can give more relatable case study to your business. Take advantage of Sean, free advice to do sa mga attending live. So Sean, how can we, kunyari ako ang audience, I have a business. How can we work together?
Just shoot me an email. My email address is Sean. Well, the easier email address is IM, letter I, letter A, letter M, at Sean.c. Okay.
Okay.
Yung .c, hindi yung domain name dahil apelido ko yun. That's Slovenia. And I just bought the Slovenia kasi it happens to be my surname as well. So I'm gonna type that in the chat box. I am at Sean.c. That's my personal email address. You can get in touch with me there if you're interested.
I am at Sean.c. There you go. But you
Yeah.
know, Sean, anong services? Guys, if you are listening here, can you type in the comment box what business you are in para we can sample it, diba? Sean, kunwari, I wanna really talk to the old school companies kasi kunwari I'm o si Adrian nagsabi, real estate. Ay, sulitin na natin, Adrian. How can a real estate person like my company and Adrian's company, what services can we touch?
Actually, we have real estate clients.
Wow.
So, meron kami broker, Remax. We made their site. All their listings are there. We made it searchable. And we made it real nice. There's even a search function and a filter function. Price, type, location. So, we built that for them. Why don't I... Is it okay if I mention their name here?
Yeah, of course.
They're friends of mine. If you search for Property Source... No. iProperty. Let me just... PropertySourcePH.com. That's the website. PropertySourcePH.com. Check out that site. It's a site built by SEO Hacker. Everything from SEO. We also have Mega World Manila, which is a real estate company. They sell condominiums. We're the ones actually doing their SEO. So I'm not gonna mention their keywords here because that's under NDA. But
Okay.
we work with them. I worked with Philinvest also, Aspire and Futura, Philinvest. So we've actually had a good number of real estate clients.
Sean, of course, lahat naman ng businessman, let's face it. Their question is, can I afford? I want to work with you. Can I afford? And that price point makes a big difference. So, do you mind sharing what's the range?
Well, here's how I look at it. Number one, you have to have a working budget. If you don't have an idea how much that budget is, I can tell you. But how you should look at it is not as an expense, because SEO is an investment, just like property. Actually, I use this analogy a lot. When you invest in a property, kikitain mo ba agad yon? Usually wait a year or so before you get really good returns. Whether it's growth returns, you sell it, or whether it's rental returns, which is playing even the longer game.
Yep.
SEO is like that. You invest in it, you don't see immediate returns within 6 months, but towards the first year, you actually feel it. And there are clients na by the 6 months pa lang nag-ROI na. But I'm not gonna guarantee that because that also depends on how good your sales team is. But towards the first year, you should get your ROI already. And SEO takes time. That's the main contrast between social media marketing, which is instant. The moment you post, the moment you boost, okay ka na eh. Nakikita na ng mga tao eh. Nakakuha ka na ng leads, may nag-chat na sa'yo. But SEO takes time. But the good thing is, once you're ranking, you're ranking. That's it for years and years to come.
Wow. If I had a business, I'll be very excited. So parang the mindset here is you set aside the budget, let it run, let Sean do his thing for a year.
Yeah.
And see how your business will expand to a space na hindi mo natatatap before.
That's right.
Yeah, no?
I mean, this stuff right now may not be that popular, but it works. And the big companies actually I'm helping them out. They're actually seeing the light na, whoa, this is something that's an investment and it generates perpetual qualified leads while we sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are you gonna talk about the whole process after, or we can talk about it now? Kasi I want to share to the audience na even if you have a powerful website or lead generating something, the what do you call it? The people who will catch those inquiries has to be well trained also. Sean, tell us a
Yes.
bit about that.
So, I usually may mga clients nagtatanong sa akin, Sean, hey, can you work na I give you commissions? And I usually say, no, we don't do that. Either we sign a contract, you pay me outright, my rate, because I don't know how good your sales team is.
Yeah.
And kung nadamay kung may nangyari sa sales team mo, wag naman sana, but damay ako. The risk is too big for me. So, we generate a lot of leads because we're ranking first page for relevant keywords. I pump in the leads, but it's really how hungry your sales team is and how good they are in closing the deals that would dictate your level of ROI.
Yeah.
So the SEO and website creation process looks like this. Website creation with the planning, content, putting it up, everything. Maybe 4 months, somewhere there, more or less. Depending on how willing you are to work well with me and my team, nabigay mo ba lahat ng content? Because usually it's from the client. The images, the PowerPoints, the videos that they want to put in the site and so on. 4 months, and then the SEO is for a year. And during that entire time frame, you're gonna be getting leads na eh. You will feel it because the SEO is gonna work. We're gonna rank from not in top 100 in Google to fifth page, third page, second page, first page. And when you're in first page, surely you're getting leads already.
I think the right mindset is, Sean, sa mga nakikinig is, if you have excess budget to grow your business, set aside some for your digital growth. Diba?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if it doesn't work, at least you gave it a try. But if it works, then you'll be happy you gave it a try, because you'll never know until you give it that 1 year at least, plus the budget, plus the manpower, Sean.
Yep.
And I just want to encourage, if you're going to go into a digital space, do not use a manpower na medyo sagad na up until here na yung trabaho niya. It will not work. It will fail.
Yeah.
Diba? You know, I learned from
100%.
Josiah Go, there's a difference between an idea failure and an execution failure. Sometimes your idea is good, but poor execution, it fails.
Yeah.
Sometimes naman, it's a bad idea. Kahit anong execution mo, it will fail. So there has to be the right match between the idea and the execution.
That's good. And I agree with that 100%. Medyo old school, minsan kahit di na startup, yung medyo enterprise na, may budget na dapat for it and all, and kumikita naman na, stable naman na. Minsan medyo startup pa rin mag-isip na dapat lahat tayo, iba-ibang hats pa rin ng suot. It just doesn't work that way, because when you're already an enterprise level company, competition is tighter, more fierce. Your professionalism has to be in a grander scale. So you have to adapt. Hindi pwedeng, tama yung sinabi ni Carl na gagamitin mo sila multi-purpose hanggang sakal na sa trabaho. No?
It will fail. Yeah. Sean, you mentioned 3 tips already. Number 4 tip.
Number 4 tip, I thought about this quite hard. It's evergreen content. When I say evergreen content, it's supposedly content that's going to stand the test of time. So this piece of content that I'm creating with you tonight, Carl, is actually evergreen content. Because 10, 20 years from now, it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
I don't think Facebook's going to shut down. I don't think they're going to go bankrupt with the amount of cash that they have they're sitting on. I don't think Google's going to go bankrupt. I don't think people will stop searching. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll stop using social media altogether. I think that's going to be something that they're going to be doing at least a decade from now. And if that's the truth, then this stuff that we're discussing tonight is going to be applicable at least for a decade. That's what I mean by evergreen content. A lot of stuff that I personally wrote in SEO Hacker way back 10, 11 years ago is still getting readers today because it's still relevant. Those strategies still work. When you invest in evergreen content, you actually help people trust your brand more. Assuming it's helpful for them and you really provided good value. If you're holding value back, nandyan yung tip, pero bago mo ibigay yung value up, nag-hold back ka, mararamdaman ng tao yun, and your authority in their lives and your thought leadership is not gonna be maximized. So when you write evergreen content, write your heart out. Because here's the thing, if they want to compete with you, you're already leagues ahead anyway if you're able to write that evergreen content and you're an expert in what you do. So with SEO Hacker, we have had that strategy working for us for over a decade now. We publish twice a week in the SEO Hacker blog. News about Google, new strategies, new tactics, new updates in the algorithm, how you can adapt, all for free. You could just read the blog, get that value, and you're done. And that's how we were able to spread the brand SEO Hacker to a lot of people in the digital marketing world.
Guys, I know. One thing I noticed about Sean, he's so data-driven. Kasi ako pag nagsalita ako, I do my videos. Si Sean, I do my videos 4 times a week. I do my blog 2 times a week. May araw ba yan? Every Tuesday, Friday, may ganun ka ba?
Yeah, we studied when people actually would like to read our stuff. Don't publish on Monday and a Friday because Mondays are busy days and they're trying to calibrate again at work. So kahit emails mo, newsletters, hindi nila papansinin yan. If you publish Tuesdays after lunch, like 1 p.m., kakagaling lang sa lunch break, medyo nag-i-ease in pa sila sa work, the higher the chances of them reading your email. And Tuesdays work because nakakalibrate na sila nung Monday, medyo mas maluwag na sila ng Tuesday. Wednesday would be best, but Wednesday is too close with Thursday. Kaya Tuesday, Thursday kami. Friday, we don't send emails because they're shutdown mode. People just want to get work done so that they can rest or party on the weekend. So those are studies that it's not the same for every industry. So don't take this as gospel. It's not the same for every industry. But with my industry, SEO, digital marketing, and B2B, this is the stuff. This is the stuff that works.
So you don't release info on Monday and Friday?
Yeah, we don't publish on Monday and Friday.
Okay. Ang alam ko lang kasi, Sean, being Chinese, you don't collection on Monday and Friday. Kasi
The
Monday,
best.
masama mag-issue ng cheque pag Monday, bawal ang collection. Pag Friday naman, walang bangko the next day. Kaya so baka
Yeah.
yung nangyari sa cheque mo, hindi mo ma-monitor. Yun.
Yeah,
Iba pa
that's true.
Purpose ang Monday and Friday.
Tsaka ang haba ng pila sa bangko, Monday and Friday. Super.
So kaway-kaway naman dyan. Any Chinoys out there, this show is featured also on Chinoy TV, and it also becomes an article in Chinoy TV and becomes a podcast also in Chinoy TV. So hello sa mga Chinoy out there, but I encourage you to join the live. It's every Tuesday, 8 o'clock, because during the live, you get to ask the questions. No? So Sean, evergreen content application. I'm an online store selling whatever. What is the application of evergreen content?
So evergreen content, for example, if you're selling like titanium mugs, which I have here, it's a camping titanium mug, kaya ganyan yung handle niya. I'm not promoting this brand, so I'm not even gonna name it. But let's just say you're selling this. An evergreen content for this is a piece of content that would say why, like 101 reasons why you should buy titanium mugs instead of ceramic. And then list down all of the advantages there, because people who are in the consideration stage. So there's 5 stages, right? There's discovery, where they don't know you. They just discovered you because of your ad or because of someone talking about you. There's interest. They're interested already. You got their ears. They want to know more. Then consideration. Consideration stage is pumipili na sila. Which brand am I going to buy? What kind of price range can my budget accommodate? And then there's conversion when they become a customer. And then there's retention for loyalty. So consideration stage is important. When you write an article, 101 reasons why you should buy a titanium mug over ceramic mug, that's targeting people in the consideration stage, which is a critical stage, because right next is conversion. And that is an evergreen content, because that's not going to change. I mean, titanium is going to be titanium for decades and centuries to come. Ceramic is going to be ceramic for centuries to come. And if you're able to rank for that and it's a shareable piece of content, then you have an evergreen content working for you.
Sean, let's take a picture with that mug. Is that a Garmin mug?
No, it's a Garmin sticker that I stuck to it. but
Ah,
yeah, the
picture up
brand
yan.
is Steve.
I'll show it to
Like,
our friend Mark.
yeah,
Wait, let's take a picture, Sean. Five, hindi, yan. Show
yeah.
the
All
logo.
right,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yan. Are you
there
a
we go.
fan of the Garmin,
Yeah,
gadgets?
I have my I recently bought this because I want to track my oxygen level while I sleep, which is
Oh,
not available on the Phoenix 5X, which I have when I do my road bike. I wear the Phoenix. I'm not wearing it now. But I wear the Phoenix 5X. So yeah.
Mark. Sean. Guys, if you are like me, na bara-bara magnegosyo, I'm all over the place. I don't have data. I just do things when I feel like it. Have a partner like Sean in your team. Maybe as an outsource because Sean will put structure into your workflow. Di ba? Even pag monitor niya ng sleep niya, mini-measure niya, pati paghinga niya, mini-measure niya. Di ba?
I'm no a data junkie. That's what you call
Oh,
guys like me. I love statistics. I love to see charts and graphs. But the magic is not really because of me, but because of my team. I should say that because it's really because of them. Yeah.
hello, kaway-kaway sa team, si SEO hacker team na tiga
All
BF
right.
na hindi na pumapasok sa BF. Yun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Sean, grabe, I'm sure everybody is full, no? Last one tip, and then you have to summarize it. Last one tip for SEO.
The last one tip for your leads gen is, and this ties up pretty much all of the things we discussed, is platform building. Now, what
Wow.
is platform building? Platform building is just like what we're doing now. This is actually your platform, Carl, where you have content, people listen to you, and as you mentioned, it gets turned into an article, it gets turned into a podcast, maybe even a video recording, and of course, it's gonna be on Facebook. One recording, multiple platforms, video, audio, written word. I also do that with my Leadership Stack podcast. Exactly the same thing. One recording, video, audio, written word. And it's a platform because you build a community, a following around it, because you actually produce a lot of value for your listeners, for your audience. And believe it or not, my podcast, the Leadership Stack, it doesn't make money. Yeah, we don't have ads, we don't have sponsors yet. Hopefully, we could sign some on, but it doesn't make money. But just this week, we actually signed an SEO contract because he's a listener of the Leadership Stack podcast. Shout out to Daniel Ko of Tolson Power Tools. So I built that platform. I got a listener. I'm not really talking about digital marketing and SEO per se. That's a podcast about leadership, entrepreneurship, and management. But it's a platform because it is inevitable that they're gonna look at who I am, what I do, and what who SEO hacker is, what is it about. And so Daniel went through that journey and found out I did SEO and he signed up with us. So we're now doing his website and we're now gonna rank him for keywords like Power Tools Philippines, Power Tools suppliers, and all
Mhm.
of the nitty-gritty tools that they have like screwdrivers, drills, drill bits and stuff. So it's
Wow.
exciting. Yeah.
You know, kinikilabutan ako when you're telling me about your client. Kasi he's gonna like be the, like a blue ocean or ano man tawag dun pag you're the first in the trend in the hardware space,
Yeah. Lion's share. He's gonna get
lion
lion's share for sure.
of the
Yeah.
online space. Sean, a little bit more expansion. Platform building, parang medyo vague. What is an action
Yeah.
step to that?
Of course. So doing this podcast with you, Carl, honestly, we could do it for zero cost. It's just you, what you know, helping others, paying it forward. I mean, you're doing this because you love people and you want to give value to them. You're not getting paid for this. I'm not
Okay.
getting paid for the Leadership Stack podcast, but it becomes a platform for us and it really doesn't cost us anything. Sure, you can invest in a nice camera and a nice microphone that's going to cost you one time cost, Otherwise, it's going to be your time, it's going to be your expertise, and people will just be drawn to you because you're going to be authentically trying to help them with the value you're giving. And you use different stations, different platforms to spread your content around, like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music for podcasts, Google Podcasts, Dame, your own
Dami.
blog, or Chinoy's website. It's gonna be the written word there. So that becomes your stage. Before all of this pandemic and all the ECQs happened, we used to speak on stage. That's our
Yep.
platform, and
Yep.
people listen to us because we authentically want to give value to them, and we teach them. That's a platform. Literally, that when I say platform building, it's the same thing. You're building your authority by giving a lot of authentic value to people who want to listen. And because you're giving so much value, they're now thinking, if the free stuff is so good, what if I pay Carl?
Yun.
What if I pay Sean?
Yun.
Then my life would be magical. Oh, diba? So that's what I mean by platform building.
Salamat, Sean. Sean, if you don't mind, na-encourage ako sa sinabi mo. So guys, I just want to plug a little bit about what I do. Sean, pahinga ka muna, inom ka muna ng tubig sa coffee, sa
course.
titanium mug mo. Guys, I just want to share lang na for me naman, the most I promote is my private coaching. Ang dami kasing tao na message me about asking this about their property, about their problem, how to develop, what is the profit model, what is the costing. It's so hard to answer through just simple sentences kasi I don't have complete data information. Diba? Kaya I have a private coaching wherein you just, although may bayad, konti lang naman, but there's so much value in it has like 20 years of experience being passed on to you. So I do my private coaching. I think it's one of in the floating words sa baba. And if you have properties you want to sell, sabi nga nila, there's so many people selling you something. I have a team who will help you sell your property. Pabaliktad. So we do that service also. Na binuo namin siya, Sean, during the pandemic to help people who wants to sell and liquidate their property. So yun lang naman, nakisingit lang ako, Sean, sa promotion. So Sean, we've reached our destination. No? It's been a really, ang bilis ng oras.
Yeah.
Can you summarize lang yung 5 tips mo on lead generation?
Sige. Before I do that, I want to add a little bit to what you said. So, guys, when Carl says he coaches and there's a price to pay, that's actually a good thing because I'm a speaker as well and a certified John Maxwell coach.
Hello.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, no. That's the authentic, diba? Hello, it's okay.
Yeah.
Nagtago na.
Say hi, Sage. Is that you or Leo? It's Sage. It's my bunso.
Hi, Sage. How are you? You're gonna become a brother na.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. I usually say that in my podcast. So when you're serious about investing in yourself, learning more about real estate investments, you have to invest. That's really it. And Carl has the expertise. If you've ever had the privilege of listening to him on stage before the pandemic, you'll know this guy knows what he's talking about.
Salamat, Sean.
Yeah. And in summary, for what we discussed, it's all interconnected. When you build your platform, you can start with your website. When you have your website, make sure it's mobile responsive. Make it rank in Google. When you're ranking well in Google and you promote on social media, sometimes when you do social media ads, hindi naman agad bibili yung tao sa'yo eh. They're gonna have to see your ads multiple times, and then some of them they'll forget about you. And then once they need your product or your service, they're gonna search in Google something generic. Titanium mug Philippines. Something like that.
Baka bukas na yung benta ng titanium mug. Kaka-promote na.
Yeah, but people are not gonna search for the brand if they just saw your ad. Usually they'll forget about your brand but they'll remember, what was that? I saw that ad. It's a nice titanium mug. And they'll search for the generic term in Google, titanium mug Philippines. So it's all interconnected. It's an ecosystem actually working for you, generating that inbound perpetual pre-qualified leads for your business. And then within the process, you create evergreen content, which will, if you work on your SEO, that piece of evergreen content is going to be searchable as well. And when people find it, because they're in the consideration stage, them buying from you, becoming your customers, very, very high. And all of that is your platform. So it's an ecosystem that works beautifully together. And I actually have this, and we practice this, and we build this for our clients as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Wow, Sean, thank you very much. Sean, when I do my shows, I like 5 things, 4 things, 6 things. Ganun lang. Ayoko kasi masyadong marami. Di ba, guys, for the audience, if I give you 20 tips, sometimes it's too much eh. But this is 5 tips you can apply. Diba? And Sean, before your closing statement, I want to encourage everybody who's watching live or even sa recording, please go to the chat box and just send your love, send your appreciation to Sean. Sean, in all my shows, I encourage all the listeners na, at least pag may natutunan kayo, share what is your biggest takeaway, and it will encourage Sean. Diba? So just go to the, salamat, Sean. I learned this. I'm in this business. I'm gonna apply this, Sean. Salamat. So, okay, mahiyang mag-appreciate on what you learn. So, Sean, we have landed and we have reached our destination. And bago ko buksan yung pintuan and let the passengers off, any last words?
Well, maybe my last words would be digital is where people are. That's a fact. We all know that. The investment might be something that you're seeing as an expense, but since we're all moving towards that direction, it's actually an investment. And the first movers, there is what we call first mover advantage. And there is also what we call getting lion's share. And this has been true for my clients who have been the first in the industry to apply SEO and digital marketing. Flooring Solutions, one example I gave earlier, is actually 3 years in the making yon bago sila pumirma sa akin. I talked with the owner for 3 years. He asked me questions for 3 years. Wala siyang believe nung una kasi he always told me, but it's a traditional market. The purchasers may edad na and they're owners of factories. I mean, who's searching in Google? But he tried it out, and man, I went to the driving range with him, and his phone kept ringing, and I was like, "Wow, such a busy day for you, huh?" And he's like, "This is how it is," and all of that is from the website. Those are new leads. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, sana ganoon karami din yung leads ko. But I mean, it's a high value purchase because he does the Flooring Solutions chemicals for factories. I mean, one PO can be 8 digits, like 20 million, 30 million. It's big. It's really big. And yet his phone is ringing like crazy. And that's because he's pretty much the only one doing it. He's the only one digitalized his traditional business. So there's still a huge opportunity for industries na sobrang traditional mag-isip. Kung sino yung nauna, sila talaga yung makakakuha ng sobrang daming leads. So try it out. Maybe just try it out. That's what I could say.
I totally see what you are seeing. And so sa mga audience, if you are a traditional company or traditional and you're profitable, wow, swerte nyo because you have the financial capacity to grow your digital team. Separate team, guys. It has to be separate para focus sila. And if you're a startup, and if you're a startup, syempre, mas hindi pa tayo deep pockets. You can do your Facebook, But if you want to level up, talk to Sean. Sean, how about yung mga nahihiya lumapit sila? Parang, hindi naman ako big enterprise eh. Bakit di ako pansinin ni Mr. SEO Hacker? Anong mo sa kanila?
I give advice for free. And like you, I'm live Thursday night, 8 p.m. on Facebook as well. So they
Oh, wow.
could actually just tune in. Leadership Stack is the name of the podcast, and ask the questions, and I'll answer them. I mean, I have answered case studies. Would you believe that? May nagtanong na, I put stuff in my bag when I come home from Singapore and I sell. Should I now? I don't know how to answer that, right? But sabi niya, should I do the MOQ, the minimum order quantity, and is too risky? So may mga case study na ako sinagot dun eh. What more if it's, just about digital marketing? I'll surely answer that.
Thursday, Facebook Live, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So it's on Facebook, YouTube. We're streaming it on Periscope and Twitch as well. So,
Wow. All over talaga. So guys, there you go. Guys, do not not take the opportunity to pick Sean's brain. Sayang. And ako, I'm very lucky. Sean, after nito, mag-usap pa tayo how I can increase my business.
Of course, it would be my honor.
Susulitin ko na si Sean. So guys, on that note, thank you very much everybody for tuning in on another episode of Passive Income with Property Guru Carl D and SEO hacker Sean C. Maraming salamat. If you are listening on the recording, I encourage you to join us live every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Our next episode will be about cryptocurrency. We're going to have Jonathan Tinoco in the house in our show next week about cryptocurrency. So don't miss that. And I'll see you all. Thank you very much and have a good day. Sean?
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Carl, for having me. God bless.
God bless everybody. Thank you.
Sean C. does speaking engagements throughout the Philippines. He is the author of the book CEO at 22, which tells of his story starting up his first business, SEO Hacker, at a young age. A serial entrepreneur who has founded 6 companies, Sean is a born-again Christian who believes faith in God is the cornerstone of his success. His expertise in leadership management, team unity, personal growth, sales, digital marketing, startups, and the entrepreneurial lifestyle has drawn the attention of company owners, event organizers, magazines, and television and digital broadcasts here and abroad. He has shared the stage and worked with some of the biggest names in the public speaking industry, namely Francis Kong, Chinky Tan, Jason Law, Randall Tiongson, Anthony Pangilinan, Carlo Ople, Manuel V. Pangilinan, former President Joseph Estrada, and former President Fidel V. Ramos, to name a few. Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Sean C.